welcome to my channel. Hope you will be fine. In this video I will tell you the story of Naruto married with Sasuke female. Hope you will like this video. And please press the bell icon and subscribe to my channel and also share with her friend. Chapter 11. Naruto. She looks at him as they were making their way back to the leaf. Yeah, he wraps his arm around her protectively as they make their way forward. I was thinking, if you want I could add your last name after mine and the kids could take both. It'd be a mouthful, but that way both of our clans would be represented. Suki smiles at the blonde. She had been thinking about it. It wasn't really fair to ask Naruto to give up his family line for her. Even if the Uzumaki bloodline would still exist in reality, the name wouldn't. Naruto was an only child. Besides, she really need to say something to distract him. Suki wasn't used to Naruto's chakra feeling so murderous. As much as she absolutely wanted to slaughter the council, she wasn't going to risk Naruto throwing away his future for it to happen. They needed to fight smarter, not harder. Oh, and why is my last name second? He asks. Well, first of all, it's alphabetical. Uchiha Uzumaki, she states. And we care about that because. Naruto raises an eyebrow. It sounds better than Uzumaki Uchiha as well. Suki continues. That's debatable. The blonde shakes his head in disbelief. And I'm older, so what I say goes. She finishes smugly. Oh, that's right. I forgot I was married to a cougar. You used that whole extra few months to your advantage. I totally fell for your seductive wiles. I had no chance. Naruto laughs. Exactly. Glad we had this talk. Uchiha Uzumaki it is. Poor kid. That's going to take forever to learn how to write. We should give him or her a short first name. Suki nods at her assessment. Yeah, you kinda have a point, especially once you start adding in a middle name. Naruto concedes. And we aren't naming them after some ramen flavor. The last female Uchiha warns him. I wouldn't do that. He protests. She smirks as if to say she didn't buy that for a single minute. You're trying to distract me. He pulls her into his arms. Maybe. Is it working? Suki wraps her arms around his neck. A little. How's your arm feeling? Naruto looks at her with concern. Odd. But I can move it now without pain. It just feels odd. It's going to take some time. I should have gotten it sooner. She answers. Hey, your arm ... It matches the original, but mine is the same color as Hashirama's. The blonde sighs and shakes his head as if to feign envy. It's not. It's just a minor genjutsu. She shrugs. Oh, wait, you can do that? He asks. Yes, it's easy. Well, it's easy for me. I'm not even that good at genjutsu. Itachi was far better at it, but it's a simple matter to change the coloration. It just looks odd. I don't really know how I feel about having someone else's arm. It's a little easier to process when it looks like mine. She admits. Admit it. You were being a little vain. Naruto couldn't help but laugh. Maybe a little. She confesses. It's all right. You have good reason to be. You're beautiful and no offense to Hashirama, but your skin is way prettier. He kisses the top of her head. I thought so too. Anyway ... Let's go home. Suki smiles. Yeah, he agrees. Once they get home, Naruto contacts the chemical division. These ninjas specialized in poison, antidotes, and testing for unnatural chemicals. They weren't amateurs. If there really was some sort of poison keeping Suki from getting pregnant ... They'd find it. Although the chemical didn't appear to be hurting Suki in any other way, Naruto still considered it to be a poison. Naruto, this is going to take a while. You and Suki might want to get out of the district while we conduct the tests. You aren't wearing the protective clothing you should for a situation like this, one of the chemical ninjas states. Oh yeah, right. Suki, come on. He nods and Suki soon follows Naruto out of the Uchiha district. Where are we going? She asks. Figured we can wait in Kakashi's office. Besides, I have to let him know what's going on anyway. The blonde offers. Good idea. The brunette agrees and they head into Kakashi's office. Weird. Guess he's not here. Naruto notices. After looking around the office for a bit, he'll show up eventually. Suki sits on Kakashi's desk and settles in for a long wait. Suki, you really shouldn't sit on his desk like that. Naruto shakes his head. Why not? She idly swings her legs. Because, the blonde states. Are you really lecturing me about sitting on his desk being disrespectful? The man read erotic novels in front of 12-year-olds. Somehow, I doubt he'll be scandalized by my sitting on his desk. She points out. It's not that. He says. Then what is it? Suki crosses her legs and shoots Naruto a perplexed look. It makes me want to bend you over the desk. He admits. Oh, I take back when I said about the angel thing. She smiles slyly and pulls him over to her. I mean, it's Kakashi's office now, so we really shouldn't. The blue-eyed ninja points out. You're right, we shouldn't. Suki brushes her lips against his. Yeah, he'd get mad if we messed up all his papers. He murmurs and kisses back. Even matter if we broke his desk. She adds and deepens the kiss, running her fingers through his hair, warning Kakashi's horrible timing scene. Well, we could always get him a new desk. Naruto yanks open Suki's shirt, exposing her black satin bra. He needed a new one anyway. This one clashes horribly with the rest of his office. She pulls Naruto's shirt over his head slowly. Screw it. Naruto moves her closer to him. My thoughts exactly. She murmurs into his ear hotly, nibbling on it. Naruto shivers and leans down, kissing along her mating mark. He had learned shortly after giving it to her that it drove Suki crazy. He'd never get tired of hearing her moan and whimper like that. He really needed to get out of these pants. He was going to bend her over that desk, and that's when the door opened. Kakashi came in. He blinked. Suki blushed scarlet and quickly buttoned up her shirt. Well, I see the honeymoon isn't over yet. Kakashi grins at them. Kakashi. Naruto blushes scarlet and quickly throwing his shirt on. It's all right, Naruto. It's to be expected. You are young and in love, though I would appreciate it if you didn't show it while you were on my desk. That or at least get my papers off it first. So office sex. Who knew either of you were so kinky? I figured you'd probably stick to the traditional bedroom location for a while before you started branching out. He muses. End of Kakashi's horrible timing scene. Kakashi, it's disturbing that you think about our sex life that much. Suki mutters, still feeling her face heat up at having been walked in on. Oh, I don't. I'm just musing. Anyway, what brings you here? Naruto isn't scheduled back in the office until tomorrow. He asks, while we were on our honeymoon, we went to get checked out by a medic. They think the reason why Suki isn't pregnant is because someone's been drugging our well water with some sort of contraceptive. Naruto glowers at the very thought. You two are trying for a baby. Kakashi blinks, trying to imagine that kid. Yeah. Naruto caresses Suki's cheek. We have the chemical division testing the water now. The brunette leans into her husband's touch. Sadly, I can't say I'm surprised if that turns out to be the case. It was rather clear to anyone at that wedding that you two are affectionate with each other. The Hokage was clearly trying to be tactful. Yes, he is very affectionate. Suki smirks at that. I can tell. Kakashi shakes his head and chuckles at the strangeness of the situation. I swear if it's true, I'm going to kill them. Naruto says. Naruto, calm down. We have to get all the facts first. Besides, if you kill them and people find out. He trails off. It wouldn't end well. Suki finishes. I'm not going to let them get away with hurting my wife. They messed with our family. Naruto fumes. Suki, were there any negative effects other than preventing you from conceiving? Kakashi looks at her in concern. No, I don't think so anyway, she states. Well, that's good at least. Kakashi sighs in relief. Yeah, she agrees and takes Naruto's hand. Naruto, your chakra. Suki watches her husband warily. Indeed, it was swirling around the office violently. The familiar reddish-orange energy of Kebi was actually visible. The Uchiha woman tries not to shiver at the absolutely vicious feeling of it. Naruto wanted blood. She'd never felt his chakra take on such a malevolent edge before. I can't help it. What they did to you is unforgivable. Naruto growls. Naruto, I know you are angry, but calm down. We don't even know if the medic was right. Even if she was, we need proof. She kisses his cheek. She's right. It won't end well if you do not get proof before you act. The daimyos would get restless if they knew you were killing council members. They don't like it when the established order is upset. And frankly, they are skittish about you almost as much as they are about Suki. Kakashi admits. What do you mean? Naruto demands. They fear you are too powerful. You saved the world. There are many who would follow you to the ends of the world. Some of them think that eventually, you'll want to seize power from them. The silver-haired man explains, much like how the Leaf wanted to kill Kabuto for becoming too good at being a spy. Suki mutters, exactly. Unfortunately, sometimes our own success can lead to our downfall. The Hokage agrees. Don't even get me started on Kabuto. Anyway, we'll get the proof. I know they did it. Naruto growls. Naruto, let's go home. They should be done by now. I can make you some ramen if you like. She offers. Suki, this is one thing that isn't going to be fixed by ramen. He half snaps at her. I know, but we won't be able to do anything until we get the results. In the meantime, we might as well. Relax. She murmurs into his ear in that voice, the one that could reduce Naruto to a pile of goo in seconds. Relaxing sounds good. He murmurs. MHM. She says and leads him off. Kakashi lets out a sigh of relief. Thank God Naruto's lust outweighed his bloodlust at least for now. This was going to end in disaster, he just knew it. The Hokage had a sinking feeling in the pit of his stomach. He had no proof, but he knew that the council had done it. Who else would dare to risk going into the Uchiha district and poisoning the water? When they get home, Suki knew that she was about to play a very important game. She was going to call it, let's distract Naruto. She couldn't let him go postal and take revenge without any evidence. She bit her lower lip. If Naruto really lost it, it'd be difficult to restrain him without one or both of them getting seriously hurt. She was going to need backup. Gaara had the ultimate defense. She knew from personal experience that he wasn't a lightweight. She could ask him, Naruto, there's been something that I wanted to try out for a while, but I haven't been sure how to ask you. She says, what is it? He asks, curious. How do you feel about handcuffs? Suki looks at him. What about them? The blonde says, clearly not getting it. Would you let me cuff you? She trails off. Oh, I guess I haven't thought of it before. I mean, I've thought about tying you up, but I didn't think you'd go for something like that. Just handcuffs though, right? His gaze seems more than a little wary at that last part. Just handcuffs. As for whips, I'm not Anko. She laughs. All right, yeah, I'm fine with that. He says, great. Why don't you go to our room and I'll see if I can find the cuffs. It might take a bit. I think they got buried at the bottom of one of the boxes. She warns him. Sure. He kisses her before heading off. Suki actually knew exactly where those cuffs were, but she wasn't going to tell Naruto that. She needed time. She quickly writes a letter to Gaara and sends her hawk off with it in tow. Gaara, I need you to get to the leaf as fast as you can. It's a long story. Please, I need your help. Suki, she decides that was suitably vague, but it would get the urgency across. She watches as her hawk flies off. Then she grabs the cuffs and goes to Naruto. Warning Lemon. So handcuffs. Any other kinks of yours I should know about? Naruto laughs as she cuffs him. It wouldn't be much fun if I told you them all at once. She straddles his waist, kissing him. Naruto kisses back. He really wasn't entirely sure where she was going with this, but he was definitely curious. Besides, anytime Suki was straddling his lap or kissing him, he was an extremely happy ninja. Guess so. Naruto watches her closely. Well, I guess there is one that you should know about. Suki slides his shirt off of him. Which is? The blonde asks. I want to hear you beg. She purrs into his ear. Keep dreaming. He says cockily. I do. Every night in your arms. She glides her hands over his biceps as if to illustrate her point. You're a tease. You know that, right? Naruto asks. You like it though. Have I ever told you how much I miss you while you are away on overnight missions, or I am? She retorts. Yeah, I miss you too. He agrees. I miss your arms wrapped around me. She starts sliding off her shirt, revealing her bra and toned stomach to his gaze again. I miss that too. He agrees. The sound of your laugh and feeling of your lips against mine. Suki leans down, kissing him. That too. Naruto kisses back eagerly. The way you caress me. She continues and unhooks her bra, letting it fall to the ground, and now Naruto is treated to the sight of his topless wife. By now this was a familiar sight to the blonde, but it was one that he was never going to get tired of seeing. Honestly, there probably should be a shrine or something. If you let me out of these cuffs, I can do that for you. He growls lustfully. I wasn't finished. I really miss the way you play with my breasts. She murmurs and glides her hands over them, and Naruto watched transfixed. Why yeah, me too. He agrees. And the way you touch me everywhere else. She purrs at him, sliding out of her pants and her panties. I see, completely understand. The blue-eyed ninja says, nodding his head. So sometimes when I'm alone, without you there, I imagine it's you. It's not the same. You are so much better at it. She whispers, and Naruto's eyes widen when he sees her hand slide between her thighs. Suki had never done that before. Well, she probably had. She just said she had. But he'd never actually seen her pleasure herself. But fuck, it was an erotic sight. Suki seemed like she wanted to put on a show for him. He could lower half of his body, giving her a standing ovation. But do you know what I miss most of all? She asks seductively, sliding her fingers in out of herself and using her other hand to caress her breasts and neck. What? Naruto asks. The way you hold me down as you fuck me so good that I can't think of anything else but you and how good you feel inside me. She finishes, moaning and panting as she continued teasing herself and him. Suki was a bit distracted by her own pleasure, so she could be forgiven for not hearing the subtle snap of the handcuffs. She definitely noticed though when Naruto lunged at her like a wild animal and pinned her so she was laying over the side of the bed. She squirms, feeling her backside exposed to her lover. I really missed that too. Sorry, I tried to go along with the handcuff thing but you were driving me crazy. Naruto growls into her ear and then licks the mating mark. It's okay. I didn't really expect them to hold you anyway. I just wanted to see how long you'd last before you snapped. She admits. Tease. He bites her mating mark lightly, drawing a loud moan from her. All right, I get what you were saying now about taking her from behind. It is a gorgeous view. Naruto admits to Kyuubi. I told you so. It is the proper position. Kyuubi informs him. There was something hot about having Suki with her back towards him. Something primal. It was just so submissive, and the view of her ass probably had something to do with it. He parts her legs and teases her womanhood with his hand. Thank God. She was wet. He wasn't sure if he would have been able to take much more foreplay, and he didn't want to hurt her. Mine. He growls as he buries himself deep inside his lover. Fuck. She cries out and bucks against him. Naruto holds her down and begins slamming into her almost animalistic ally. Say it. He growls, biting down on the mark. And he continues, thoroughly ravishing the woman underneath him. Am I yours? She moans and pants, writhing against him desperately. Good girl. He murmurs soothingly into her ear as his hand reaches around and toys with her clit. Feels so good. She pants. He was never going to get tired of this. The sounds of her moans, the way she felt around him, how perfectly they fit together, and the sight of her when she was just as lost as he was in pleasure. He snarls her name and spills his release as Suki screams his name and joins him in achieving her own. Wow, he pants and nuzzles her. Yeah, she agrees and was glad she had the bed to support her. She didn't think her legs would support her after that. He slides out of her. Naruto pulls her into his arms and sets her down on the bed. He soon lays next to her. Do you really do that, or was that just something you said to get me going? He asks curiously. You mean, do I touch myself when you're away and think of you? She questions and lays her head on his chest. Yeah, he says. Sometimes. Don't let it go to your head. Suki warns him. Kinda hard not to. He glides his hand over her hip. End of lemon. Suki, you think maybe you could become a medic full-time or something else? Naruto asks the next morning as they were enjoying the cuddling up next to each other. What? Why? She blinks and looks at him in confusion. I just don't want to lose you. I know how strong you are, but anything can happen out in the field. I wouldn't be able to handle it if I lose you again ... for good. The blonde reasons. Well, I guess I could be a medic full-time. My mother retired from active duty after she had Itachi. I'd still be doing something useful. Plus I'd have you to keep me entertained. You are great for endurance training. She smiles slyly and kisses him. Thanks, I'm going to be Hokage, so I'll mostly be in the village anyway. This way the overnight missions are almost eliminated too, and on some of the overnight stuff, since you're my wife, as Hokage, I'd have a good excuse to take you with me. He murmurs, MHM. She closes her eyes, drifting off into sleep. 2 days later, Gaara arrived in the Leaf. It was a 3-day journey from his village to Naruto's, but he'd cut the travel time by a third. Suki's message had sounded so urgent. He goes to see her at the hospital. Suki and Temari exchanged regular letters at this point, and she had told Temari she was learning medical jutsus. Temari had passed that information on to him. Uchiha ... or should I say Uzumaki. I am getting whiplash trying to keep up with all these name changes. Gaara shakes his head in disbelief. Uchiha Uzumaki, technically, but Uchiha is fine. Suki shrugs. I'm used to it. Your letter sounded urgent. What's wrong? The redhead asks. Suki sighs. She takes Gaara to one of the empty hospital rooms to talk. There the Uchiha Uzumaki tells him the full story. They drugged you. The Kazekage looks at her in outrage. Yes, I'm alright. It was just to prevent pregnancy. Well, we think that's what happened. We are still waiting for the testing results. Thank God you got here when they did. If they come back positive, I'm kinda afraid Naruto is going to lose it and do something stupid. I don't know if I'd be able to stop him when he is ... that angry. She admits. You two are locked in an eternal stalemate, it seems at time. But yes, his righteous fury would probably give him the advantage. I'll see what I can do to help, even if that might include knocking him out with a sneak attack, while you distract him. Uchiha, are you injured? You seem to be limping quite a bit. The redhead asks. I had to keep him distracted somehow, and it was fun. She mutters. That's all I need to know. No further details are necessary. Gaara coughs awkwardly. I thought so. Suki agrees with a nod. You want to ask Hinata for help on this? Gaara, has it escaped your notice that she fucking hates me? Suki demands. No, it hasn't. It doesn't matter how she feels about you. She cares about Naruto. I'm sure she'll see reason. Hinata doesn't want him to throw away his life in a fit of rage any more than you do. Besides, her chakra blocking abilities could prove very useful if he snaps. The redhead reasons. Alright, you have a point there. Let's go before I change my mind. Suki sighs. Soon enough they find Hinata at the training grounds. The Hyuga and Uchiha glare daggers at each other. Gaara shakes his head. Suki viewed Hinata as a damsel in distress, a shy and weak pampered princess. Hinata viewed Suki as a monster who was going to end up breaking Naruto's heart. To put it mildly, oh yes, they loathed each other. Gaara didn't even like them being within the same 50-mile radius, if he was being honest. But it had to be done ... for Naruto's sake. Alright, I'm not going to tolerate a cat fight. So let me summarize. The council was likely poisoning the well water in the Uchiha district to keep Suki from conceiving. If true, Naruto is going to do something stupid. We would like for you to help us from stopping him and engaging in said stupidity. Gaara could only hope that the Hyuga princess would see reason. They what? Hinata blinks. They drugged me so I wouldn't get pregnant. Suki couldn't keep the bitterness out of her voice. I'm so sorry, Suki. The brunette murmurs. Suki was about ready to tell Hinata where she could shove her pity, but Gaara places his hand on her shoulder. The redhead wasn't going to let her snap. That pampered little princess was so lucky that the Kazekage was here. She didn't need pity. I know that we aren't friends, but what they did to you was wrong. Hinata shakes her head. Yes, it was. Will you help us, for Naruto? Suki watches the other woman warily. For Naruto, yes. The brunette agrees. Good. Now let's go make sure that our lovable blonde idiot doesn't do something he'll regret. The results should be coming back shortly. I doubt we are going to be surprised by them. The redhead states, "What do you want me to do?" The Hyuga asks, "If it comes to it, lock up his chakra points. That is the fastest way to disable him." Well, at least his chakra. Even just based on his physical strength, he is still a difficult opponent. But I think from there the Uchiha and myself will be able to restrain him. The Kazekage explains and Hinata nods in agreement. I can do that. She agrees. Thank you. I better head back. The chemical division is supposed to give us the results this afternoon. Suki makes a quick departure, and before she really knew it, the young woman was back in the Uchiha district. Naruto, I'm home. She walks inside their house. Coming, the blonde races over to greet his wife. Naruto, promise me something. Don't lose it. If the results show what we think they are going to, we need to gather evidence. You can't just go off half-cocked. She tells him, Suki, I think we've established by now that when it comes to you, I never do anything half-cocked. He smirks suggestively and pushes her against the wall. Well, I definitely can't argue with that. She murmurs into his ear. What time did they say that they'd be here? He asks. 3. The brunette answers. Damn, it's 2:45 now. He growls in frustration. Hold that thought until afterwards. She kisses him. I might not be in the mood afterwards. He mutters. That'd be a first. Suki teases him. I'm serious. The blonde gives her a dirty look. 15 minutes later, the chemical division comes in. Well, more accurately, the leader of it walks into their house. His face was grim. Damn it, maybe she should have Naruto go outside to talk with him. How about we discuss this outside? She looks at the captain, who nods in agreement. I'm afraid that we did find something. It's rather disturbing. A chemical designed to prevent conception. Whoever put it in the well water knew what they were doing. It's colorless, tasteless, and has no scent. You could have consumed that for years and you'd never know it. Fortunately, once you are no longer exposed to it, it gets out of your system fairly quickly and there aren't any other side effects associated with it. He says, I swear to God, I'm going to tear them apart. Naruto snarls as ominous chakra surrounds him and the captain wisely steps back. He'd never felt anything so terrifying in his life. So this was the Nine-Tails chakra. Incredible, but terrifying. He races out of the district. He had no intention of dying today, and the way the blonde was looking, he might not be very discriminating in who was subjected to his wrath. Hinata, Gaara, now, Suki yells. Hinata slams her attack into Naruto, blocking his chakra. Gaara grabs Naruto with his sand and forms some chains. Suki bites her lower lip. She hated going behind his back like this, but she had done it to protect him. He'd forgive her, she hoped anyway. Suki, Gaara, Hinata. What the hell? Naruto's eyes flash in rage and hurt. Gaara, how strong are those chains? Suki asks. Strong enough that you should have time to talk him down. Come on, Hinata, they need their privacy. The sand carries Naruto to their room, and the other two leave. You planned that. Naruto yells at her and looks at her with accusing eyes. You're right. I did. I knew you'd be angry. I didn't want you to do anything stupid. I don't know what I'd do if something happened to you. She whispers the last part. You're always so sneaky. You always think you have to do everything yourself. God damn it, Suki. I'm your husband. Naruto growls at her. I know. I'm just trying to protect you because I love you. I know what revenge does to a person, Naruto. If you go down that path, it's very hard to get back onto the right one. She murmurs. I know that, but I can and I will protect you. It hurts me that you went behind my back. You schemed against me with Gaara and even Hinata. And you hate Hinata. Naruto was livid. I don't hate Hinata. I hate that ... She deserves you more than me. I wasn't scheming against you. I was trying to protect you. Suki asks as she looks at her husband with guilty eyes. She does not. Yes, you were. I know ... But it's my job to protect you, not the other way around. He growls. Naruto, that was incredibly old-fashioned of you and borderline sexist. Suki snaps at him. I don't care. They hurt you. He growls. Naruto, I'm fine. There aren't any other side effects. We know that the water is drugged now. It's fixable. We need proof though, so I just need you to wait a while until we get it. She murmurs. It could have been worse though. They could have killed you. If they could slip that through the water, they could have slipped something lethal. He gives her a dirty look. They didn't though. It's all right. She tries to reason with him. Suki, tell Gaara to undo these chains now. Naruto says. That's not going to happen. You'll kill them. The brunette shakes her head. It's what they deserve. He tells her. Yes, they do, but not by you. You aren't me, Naruto. If you kill in cold blood, you'll never forgive yourself. Even if you did, you'll throw the leaf into chaos. You need some time to calm down. Then we can come up with a plan. She couldn't help but hate how her own voice sounded so pathetic even to her own ears. I hate this, Suki. Look what they did to us. He murmurs. Me too. The Uchiha woman lays against him. Let's not give them what they want. They want us to fight. Untie me. I need you. He murmurs and leans his head down to lick the mating mark. Naruto knew it was wrong. They had to pay though. He wasn't going to let them hurt her anymore. He'd never tried to use the mating mark like this before. He didn't know if it would work. Suki was so damn stubborn. but she was technically the submissive mate. You want to kiss and make up, she whispers, and he sees her sharing and activate. Her eyes were clouding over with desire. Oh, so that's how it worked. Good to know. He was tempted to wait a while. Why did she have to look at him that way? Damn, that was distracting, but he had to do it. He had to protect her. I'll tell him that you calmed down. I'll be right back. She slips off to find Gaara. All right, he says and watches her go. Suki, how'd it go? Are you all right? Gaara asks. Better than expected. He's angry. He should be. I went behind his back. God, I'm a horrible wife. She looks at her feet in shame. You did what you had to do to keep everyone safe. You aren't a horrible wife. He'll forgive you. He always has before, and for much worse. The redhead reassures her. He's calmer now. I think it's all right to undo the chains. Suki sighs and shakes her head. If you're sure. Gaara was obviously skeptical. I am. She agrees. Gaara sighs. He waves his hand. The chains would dissolve even from this distance. The youngest Kazekage wasn't sure that this was the brightest idea, but he figured Suki knew Naruto better than anyone. If she thought it was safe, then it was safe. Thanks. Naruto smiles at them when they walk into the room. Naruto, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to go behind your back. I just had to do something. Suki begins to apologize, but soon found herself pinned underneath Naruto. It's all right. I know. I mean, I have to admit that hurt and I'm still angry. I know why you did it though. He kisses her. She smiles and kisses back. Suki runs her fingers through his hair. The brunette was confident in her abilities to keep him distracted from doing anything stupid, now that they were kissing. I love you. The blonde kisses her neck. I love you too. NHH, you know what that does to me. She squirms against him and pants. I know. Forgive me. He asks. Forgive you for what? Suki questions. Naruto pulls her up and kisses her again. It was a hot kiss, but there was a desperateness to it. She frowns. Something was off. It was like he was afraid of something. The dark-haired woman breaks the kiss and looks at him in confusion. Naruto, what's wrong? She asks. Nothing. I promise. I'll keep you and our family safe. I'm sorry for this, Suki. I'll make it up to you. He brings his hand down on a nerve in her neck that would render her unconscious for a little while. I know you will. Make what up to me. Suddenly, Suki went limp in his arms. Sorry. He gently lays her down on the bed, brushing the bangs from her face. He loved her. Naruto would do anything for Suki, even kill for her. She was his everything. They were going to pay for making him do that to her. They actually made her go behind his back in order to protect him. They were happy. The council had no right to interfere with their relationship. They had no fucking right to deny Suki the family she so desperately wanted. The family he wanted. You think you can use my own trick against me? Suki says. What? Naruto whirls around and the Suki he just knocked out turns into a lob. You actually fell for a substitution jutsu, she says, blocking the door. So on a scale of 1 to 10 ... how mad are you? He asks cautiously. Somewhere around an 11. Suki answers. You can't possibly expect me to just let them get away with this. Naruto says. I don't. We'll get them, but we have to do this the smarter way. She walks over to him. I want to kill them. Naruto admits. I know. I felt the same way about Itachi once. Hatred is seductive emotion. It's easy to give into, but don't let it be a blind hatred. Suki wraps her arms around him. Naruto holds her tightly. He buries his face against her mating mark, inhaling her scent. It soothed him, at least a little. She wasn't hurt, but the council would be very soon. We have the test results showing what was in the water, but we don't have the proof that they did it. Fortunately, Hinata has his teammate who is very good at collecting intelligence. No one notices bugs. Suki smiles slyly. I married an evil genius. Naruto laughs. There are benefits to choosing the bad girl over the princess. She smirks. You are still jealous of Hinata. The blonde gapes at her. Naruto, I get jealous of any woman who even so much as looks at you too long. I'm from a fire clan. It's just the way I am. She admits. You're blaming being jealous on being from a fire clan. That's what you are going with? Naruto asks. Yeah, she says, nodding. I love you, but you're a little weird sometimes. He says. I love you too. I'm not weird. You're the one with the ramen fetish. Suki counters. Meanwhile, with Hinata and Gaara, they go to find Shino. Shino's bugs would be a great way to get the proof. Now they just had to explain everything to the insect lover though. Let me see if I understand this correctly. The council poisoned the well water so that Suki couldn't get pregnant. Naruto is angry. You are worried that he'll go on some rampage, and you need proof that the council did it. So you want me to spy on the council, knowing that is considered treason? Shino asks. Exactly. Gaara nods his head, obviously pleased that Shino had caught on so quickly. I'm in. Naruto saved the world. If he wants to be a father, the bastard should let him. Maybe this will help him remember my name. Shino poses heroically. I don't get it. The Kazekage looks at Hinata in confusion. Naruto once couldn't remember Shino's name. It really hurt his feelings. He's never gotten over it. She whispers to him quietly. Oh, the redhead blinks as he processes that information. Well, I'll send a butterfly. Nobody would ever suspect a butterfly of being a spy. The other man says. Thank you. Gaara smiles at him. Anything for Naruto and Hinata. With that being said, Shino sends the butterfly off. Back with Suki and Naruto, things were starting to calm down. Suki smiles and caresses his cheek. They were going back to their gentle bickering. Everything would work out. If you had told me a year ago that this would be happening, I would have laughed my ass off. Naruto admits. I would have been right there with you. I think I always knew deep down really. It kinda explains why Sakura irritated me so much when we were on Team 7. Really? She confesses. Really? What do you mean? Naruto asks. She was always hitting you and yelling at you. The brunette shrugs as if it was the most obvious thing in the world. Yeah, so were you. The blonde counters. Exactly. That's my job. No one else's. She smiles smugly and remembers one encounter that thankfully Naruto hadn't seen. Will you knock it off? Suki growled at Sakura. Knock what off? The pinkette asked. Beating him up like that. He's already got enough brain damage. The brunette said. You're kidding me, right? You tear into him way more than I do. Sakura protested. That's training. You do it outside of training. It's different. The youngest Uchiha defended herself. Oh, like it matters whether a blow is received during training or outside of it. That makes no sense. The other girl argued. It doesn't have to make sense. I'm stronger than you. Suki shrugged. Only because you have the Sharingan. Sakura scoffed. You're delusional if you think there is any universe where you'd be on par with me, Sharingan or not. She glared at the taller female member of Team 7. Wait, I get it now. You're jealous. The green-eyed girl gasped. Maybe Naruto isn't the one with brain damage. Suki muttered. No, I mean I thought that kiss was just an accident. But you wouldn't get mad at me beating him up if you didn't care about him, she said, obviously quite pleased with herself. Hey, Naruto, Suki likes. Sakura never got a chance to finish that sentence because Suki knocked her out. Why couldn't I get Tenten for my female teammate? The last female Uchiha sighed. She did not like Naruto. She sure as hell was not going to let Sakura tell him that she did. Wait, she meant she wasn't going to let the pinkette tell Naruto about her very incorrect assumption. Yeah, that was it. So why was she blushing? Speaking of beating each other up, I mean we haven't really explored that much. You've handcuffed me, but I never got to tie you up and there's a couple other things that I wanted to try out. He smiles. I don't know about the whole being tied up thing. She mumbles. Well, you cuffed me, so it's only fair. Besides, I'd never do anything you wouldn't like. Naruto licks her mark. And Naruto ... just bad memories. It's nothing personal. She half mews. Bad memories. He asks. Forget that I said anything. I'll try it out. Why don't we go see what Hinata and Gaara found out? Suki suggests, trying desperately to distract him. I want to know. Naruto gives her a determined look. Naruto, stop it. It's over with. There's no reason to dwell on it. The raven-haired woman shakes her head. No, I want to know. If someone hurt you, I want to know about it. He growls. Kabuto. Suki shrugs casually. I swear to God, there won't be anything left with him when I'm done. Naruto snarls. No, it wasn't like that. He'd strap me down sometimes while he gave me injections. Orochimaru wanted me to build up immunity to poisons. Sometimes, I'd have bad reactions to them. So he tied me down. Just a safety thing. I don't like not being able to move. She stammers out. That's still pretty bad. He sighs and holds her against his chest. Doesn't matter. I'm here with you now. Besides, it's nice being immune to most poisons. Just the process of building up said immunity isn't fun. She mutters. Do you think ... the baby would inherit that? He asks. Honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't think so and I'm not eager to test it. Suki shakes her head quickly. Yeah, good point. No tying you up then. Naruto promises. Maybe, I trust you. Besides, I'll get over it. Suki tells him. You don't have to. The blonde reassures her. I know. She smiles. Meanwhile, Shino's butterfly was in the council room. It was watching them closely and recording everything on a very tiny camera placed on its wings. It was enlightening to say the least. The chemical division is spotted in the Uchiha district. One says, damn it, they'll find out what we did. Another shakes their head. That someone didn't want the Uchiha to get pregnant. They don't have any proof it was us. Besides, we are hardly the only people that don't want the demon's lover to breed, even if it doesn't inherit the mother's madness. There are still the effects of Kyuubi's chakra to consider. He states, Naruto will never allow her out of his sight now. The only woman on the council points out, I'm sure that we could come up with something to prevent this disaster. He says, this whole business is so distasteful, but it has always fallen to use to do what is necessary to keep this village going. The councilwoman shakes her head. No matter how unpleasant the required actions may be, he agrees, much like the Uchiha massacre. Poor Itachi. Another sigh is heard. Indeed, his clan or the village, their coup would have led to a civil war. Other villages would have taken advantage of our weakness, and it's likely another great ninja war would have happened. He agrees. Unfortunate that he is the dead Uchiha, and that woman still breathes. She scoffs. It's important to keep her alive. We don't need Naruto to suffer from a psychotic break caused by her death, no matter how advantageous her death would be for this village. He states. Agreed. She nods. But we still can't allow them to spawn. It continues. Absolutely. Under no circumstances can we allow that to happen. The councilwoman agrees. Little did they know they were being watched. Shino smiles. That should be more than enough to convict them in the court of public opinion. Naruto was the hero of the ninja world. To deny him the ability to be a father, well, that was just asking to be tarred and feathered. He'd almost feel sorry for the council if they weren't a bunch of evil assholes.